Yep, well, they say good morning out here, and we're just getting off to a good start on getting ready to show you all about our little educational roll. And it did us a lot of good because we're learning a lot of names of plants and stuff that we normally never planted. And then we're really common with some of the plants that we already got. So we're ready to continue on with our little journey of seeing if you guys enjoy this clip, and I hope you do, because it was a lot of work. Today we figured we'd give you a good July shot of the garden, and we created what we call the educational roll with different plants. And if you kind of get the little camera up and you go swinging around, you'll see some June 20th sweet corn planted, and then there's some cucumbers that we're going to get ready to pick, and the dill's getting ready. And then what's really interesting, if Mary will take you over and show you the squash jungle to kick off our July shot. Okay, now this squash patch is about 4 feet tall, and it is just like a jungle. I mean, you can't hardly see nothing. And being you're taking a viewing of this, now just test. We got a person that's out in there. Can you see him? And then you come around. Have you found the guy yet? Anyway, we're down here. We're going to water them pretty good for their last time, and then we're going to see what they're going to do after this. But okay, this little clip here we're showing you, we planted some watermelons and muskmelons the 20th of June, just right at Father's Day, or the first day of summer. And anyway, you'll see some little corn popping up around it. And the corn was planted on the 4th of July. So it's kind of a July corn shot. But you get to see this in late June. And these little guys here in the last couple of weeks, boy, they really take off. They're getting ready to grow all over the place. And then we filled in around here, and you can see it's kind of at the corner end of the garden where we summer fallow. And we decided we'd try to hand garden it this year. Joseph and I, we went through it this morning. We weeded everything, we watered her down good, and then here you find this nice little flower of the hour. Oh, and he's a varmint. How many of them did we kill today? Whew, just hundreds of them. So anyway, well, we're going to get back here. This little education here, the planting dates up here. Okay, now this here's really, really tricky. I've never seen this before. This got planted the 23rd of June, and we've got a handful of them. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, these guys are just barely a month old. And that's got to be some record for tasseling. I mean, can you imagine that? It's coming out of this plant. I mean, he isn't even hardly a month old and he's tasseling. That's really burning leather. I mean, I've never seen that before. And you'll see that there's about like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 of them. I've never seen that. Here's the other one getting ready to tassel. And I don't know if it's just because we planted it the 23rd of June or what. And that first over there, we planted that on the 20th. This is the same variety of corn that we had planted over there with a few of them trying to tassel. I don't think we had any different corn seed mixed in with it. But this corn is probably getting up here about 4 foot tall, and it's just about a month and 4 days old. And that's just really doing good for that short time. Oh, Quinn, go out here and show them how tall the corn is.
Here.
Yeah.
Here, grab it. Go up, sir.
Yeah, walk out in there. Quinn, she's going to give you a little shot of the corn. Oh my goodness. It's about as tall as her.
I think it's taller.
Yeah, they're about her and then funny. They're all about pretty close. About 25. Okay, you can work your way back now. Oh. Good, now we'll get into some of our educational things. Here on the educational side, if you're fighting a lot of weeds, you definitely have to have one of these. Ooh. But he kills a lot of weeds. But we planted it this year just to have a little bit of fun. So as we go, we planted a full-grown onion out of a sack that you'd used in your soup or something, and it's growing. It's supposed to make seed, but he's having quite a time. And then he's right beside the Amish tomatoes, and they're kind of getting a little bigger. We'll see what they do. They must be more like a fall tomato. And Joseph, he's got this one down pat. He says, there you go, Gramps. That is that pumpkin on a stick. So we'll see what that looks like this fall. That could be interesting. Okay. Normally we don't plant these, but this here, they call it a gypsy pepper. Okay. I think it's even got a flower of the hour worked in here. I can kill that plant easy. That darn thing, he's a bugger. But that is a gypsy pepper. That's kind of interesting. Oh, and then our next little one. This is a red onion making seed. So we'll let these little guys get all filled out and get hard. And then we'll have some onion seed to plant for next year. Mary's got this one down pat. I forgot his name, but she said that's a chive. What you use it for, I don't know, but we planted it just to see what they look like. And Joseph, what was this next little tiny one?
A curled parsley.
That's a parsley?
A curled, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't do much. They must just kind of grow on the ground. Boy, he had plenty of time to grow. Oh, now these guys here, this here, I'll tell you, Thanksgiving guys would pick up turkey and dressing. And there, what is your favorite little seasoning for that is?
Sage. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep, that is your sage. And as we continue on, here's another pumpkin on a stick. We kind of mixed them up. And then this is a kind of like a Spanish tomato, Fantastico tomato. That's our first time we've ever planted that. And he looks like he makes like kind of like a cherry family tomato. He's doing real good, and he just got a little pink one ready. Oh, he got one on the other side of it. No, you got one down in there. Yeah, there's some there coming. Tomato. Fantastico. Oh,
Because it tastes so fantastic.
that is a cherry pick pepper. That's the first time we ever planted one of them. They must make like a little cherry-sized pepper. And then there's another interesting pepper when she gets done with that one coming up beside it. And that is a orange blaze sweet bell pepper. That's quite a name for a pepper. Orange blaze sweet bell. My goodness. Interesting. And then we run into a lemon boy tomato and a yellow pear tomato. And those will be your next two coming up. And then we get into a spicy globe basil. Well, I ain't used to that little plant. Out of a spicy globe basil. And he's even kind of got a little bit of an odor you can smell on him. And then there's a husky red cherry tomato right beside him. Well, he looks fairly husky, but he's spreading all over the place. Okay, now you're back to orange blaze sweet bell pepper. He's kind of planted right in amongst the tomatoes.
Get off it.
He says, "My goodness, what's going on here?"
Mom, I tapped your back. It's because there is.
And then there's a lemon boy tomato right beside him. And then you got another one of your husky cherry red tomatoes. And then there's a red razor tomato. There, a cilantro herb. Wow, that's a pretty good one. And then there's a cherry pick pepper coming up after that. And then that little curly parsley, he doesn't do much here. He is a baby plant. Now, we got the lemon balm herb. That's a plant I've never raised before. And I don't know what things are like, but he is right beside a red racer tomato. Now, I don't know where that tomato's racing to, but he's shooting vines all over the place, I can tell you that much. Okay, I think the next one after that red razor tomatoes, I believe those down in there is what they call a spicy global basil. Now, just what that's used for, I don't know. This is our first year we planted it. We just want to plant some for, just different things. And then the next one coming up is an Amish tomato. The Amish tomato reminds you of a late tomato. Okay, and then your next one up is a champion tomato. We planted a lot of these. And it's hard to tell, and he's getting tomatoes sitting on there. They're kind of old slow now, though. And that's the champion, or Cilantro herb. He's down in there. He's kind of getting buried amongst the tomatoes. You have to move that big old branch off of him, standing back up. He'll say, "Ah, rescue me! A tomato overtook me." And that's kind of half comical. And then you got a husky red cherry. Now we've planted them, and they're just, these were put in here late, so they're about 3 weeks behind the other plants. These little educational rows. And then right after him, we got a red king pepper coming up, and he's supposed to get some nice big peppers. But our peppers in this whole garden, they ain't doing what they normally do. Nope. Yep. That'll be interesting. We're going to research some of these so we find out just exactly what we do with some of these herbs. Oh, and then that next one, he sure taught us his little name, Pumpkin on a Stick. We'll see how he looks this fall. He might look quite cute. We'll see what he looks like for you gardeners that's never planted one of them. That's our first time. And then after you get done with that pumpkin on a stick, I think that next one is a plain Italian herb. A parsley herb? A parsley herb. Some of them just a little bit interesting. And then you got another one of those red king peppers right beside it. But then you have a lemon balm herb. Now, I've never experienced that herb at all. What you do with that, I have no idea. But we got to learn with the ones that we're teaching. We were showing you what the plants look like after we planted them. Okay, and then we got a crude parsley herb. Kind of interesting. And then we must have had another king red pepper that we got rid of. He's easy to identify. And then you got your husky cherry tomato. We had a few of them. Kind of what we did was when we was planting these, we had them different plants, and we kind of mixed them plants up because they're kind of like 6 come in a box. So that's how come we're repeating some of these. And there's parsley again. And he's kind of a cute little bright looking plant. Old cheese next to him beside him is a plain Italian parsley herb. Oh, that's an interesting little guy. There's a lot to learn about him. And then we have to have a champion tomato got snuck in there. Kind of interesting. He's just getting stuff set on. Okay, that one's a plain Italian parsley herb. We'll see what we do with some of this stuff. The girls are doing some research on the stuff now. And these little herbs, we ain't been much into herb gardening. We've been just mainly gardeners on canning stuff. And then your next little one, after that one there is a lemon balm herb. Yeah, he's got a cute little plant. And then, of course, then again, we got another one of those red king peppers. And then right after him is a spicy global basil. Oh, he says, my goodness. Now, what's going to be about half interesting is this lemongrass.
He looks like a weed.
Lemongrass herb. And my weeders almost pulled that little guy out of there. Oh, I had to yell at him. I said, hey, that's some kind of herb. Just leave that alone. Oh, and he's doing pretty good. And then after your lemongrass herb is a lemon balm herb. Okay, now you're into a chives herb. Here at the very tail end. It's kind of half interesting. But anyway, if you're out here watching some of this is kind of cute because we just got this one row here done, and now we're going to take this other row and go zipping back. And some of this, I get a kick out of this lettuce. If you don't pick it, he's going to get up here and make lettuce seed, but that's kind of really cute. Now we're getting ready for this is actually our first education row we put in. And we started out with a couple red cabbages. A lot of people are real familiar with them, but we don't raise a lot of cabbages up around here. We have a bug family that just literally loves them. And he looks like he's a little white butterfly. And of course we don't put any poison on them or any of that shit, so we'll see where they go, and if they turn sour, they'll end up down in Deanna Nelson's pig pen and the pubs will slaughter them. So anyway, we figured we just raise them. So that's what those three little guys are. Then you ended up with some romaine lettuce. There should be 3 plants of them little buggers. It's actually, we're letting it turn to seed. So we'll get us some romaine lettuce seed off of there. This is the one that excited Mary, is the kale. Oh, that looks really nice. Now our next one, that's supposed to be a grape tomato. Is what you'd see, not a grape, but a grape. Like a G-R-A-P-E tomato. Must have little clusters like little grapes on him.
Yep.
And then here's one of Ellwanger's favorites. This Ellwanger, where that name comes in, that's the Ellwanger greenhouse where we're picking up our plants. And she says, Roy, you got to take some of these on plants. I plant these all the time. Well, they kind of mind you a little bit like Ray's little
Yeah, the
tomatoes over there.
Roma ones.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's a cherry picked pepper. He's in there someplace. Now I ain't got a slight idea. Now the peppers, I know what you do with them. You can eat them. But this Swiss chard, I don't know if I've ever had that on my menu to eat. I think you eat the leaves and all kind of on this.
I think you can, yes.
I get a kick out because it's got some pretty colored vines. They're all nice and red and rich looking. It's kind of a sharp looking plant. Brussels sprouts. Now there we nail them pretty heavy. He's probably one of your best soup makers in the country. They get all those little bulbs on them about that big around, and then you can be picking them off. There again, we like the product, but there again, the bugs love them up here. Somehow, in this area, you'd have to spray a lot of chemical on to keep the bugs away. And we had enough experience with just a chemical treatment last year, let alone be eating it every day. The different colored one, he's a yellow. Last one was a red. And then in there again, after that little Swiss chard, is some celery. The celery up in this neck of the woods, I don't know if they plant those plants really close to one another so they keep growing up tall. But our celery up here will grow shorter, and then it gets real stemmy. And it's nothing like the celery you buy in the stores. It's just really got some, it really has some celery flavor to it, like really really rich. Now you have a yellow tomato. And I think you're going to be able to pick one of them because he's right down there. Oh, gee. And there might even be two of them. Get them both. He shows us. Oh, that's a nice one. Little yellow tomato. This is a real common one. This is our little eggplant. And I don't know if there's any varieties of eggplants. I think they just call them eggplants. And that's kind of like, got like a little banana eggplant. There's one there, I think you can pick it. There's one of them little buggers ready to pick. Oh! Ornery. Dude. Oh, should have a knife or something. Cause boy, you had to really twist to get him off. But he's big enough to harvest. Then you just slice them up and then you put a little bit of, dunk them in a little bit of egg and some breading and then fry them in the skillet and see if you like them. Some people love them. I don't know. I had them and they taste flat to me, but it's an eggplant. Then after that little buddy of his is done, that's a big yummy tomato. I ain't familiar with him. And then there's a bald all-season cabbage. And you can see our cabbages up here, all the things they just don't do good. This area where we live just is not a good cabbage spot. Unless you chemical the hell out of it, we don't eat it. So maybe the cabbage we buy is all chemical and we don't realize it. But anyway, yeah, that's. Then we got a white potato that's planted there. And a lot of guys probably know what potatoes look like. But that little booger there, we planted some in here and then we're going to use them for seed later on.
There's our culprit. Eating our plants. Get out of here. Get out of here. Shoo shoo.
Yep, now we got a ball season cabbage. This little cabbage, he don't look too bad. He might be able to get some good out of him. And then after the little cabbages, there's a Wallium broccoli. And I think there's, maybe a pair of them Wallium broccolis in there. Then we get to a yellow peared tomato. He's coming up. Oh, and those little yellow pears, they'll bush out really big. Then after we get down to that little yellow pear tomatoes, there's supposed to be a big yummy in there. I've never planted that one before, but yep, that's your big yummy tomato. About the little yellow pears. Then what's coming up next is supposed to be an orange blaze sweet bell pepper. And you notice our bell peppers, they really ain't doing nothing in here. The whole damn bell pepper, we'll check that out after a bit. Okay, then we got a cherry pick pepper. He's a little cherry pick pepper. And then after him, there's some more celery. And then there's some Swiss chard coming up. We're getting familiar with him. And then your Brussels sprout again. And then after your Brussels sprouts are done, we run into an interesting spot of growing. These are some turnips that we had taken from the store and we planted them in the ground and we're letting them turn into turnip seed. So we'll see how this venture turns out. This might get pretty interesting because they did a lot of blooming, and I don't know if I think they've already dumped their seed. See all their little seed on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that could be interesting. And I don't know how we're going to harvest some of that. That's going to be interesting. We might till this up and have a bunch of volunteer turnips coming up in this one spot. Okay, and I think after these little turnip seeds are done here, gonna We must be getting into some more of that red cabbage, and some more of the bulb season cabbage. And then a lemon boy tomato. He's coming up. I think that's our little lemon boys in here. And then a bell pepper. He's coming up. There must be a pair of those little bell peppers. And then we run into it just got those varieties just listed as those, when we got those just listed as a tomato.
I would say bloop.
Ooh. Okay, this was a red onion we got out of the store, and we planted it, and he's getting ready to make some seed. He should look a lot prettier than that, but I don't know, he's got a little competition from the tomatoes or what, but the other one, he didn't do anything. And then our next little plant that's getting ready to come up is spinach. And geez, if you're supposed to eat that, he's a strange looking plant to eat. But anyway, that's a spinach plant. We've never raised spinach before, but these are bushy black eggplants here. And then we planted a carrot out of the store, and he's supposed to be growing and making flowers for seed, but he's not. But now, giving you a fast clip, if you look over my shoulder here, and you go glance out at our carrot row, you get a viewing from here. Those carrots out there trying to make seed, they ain't supposed to be doing that. That's our row of carrots. It's making a lot of carrots, but some of them are making seeds. And that's the way this carrot's supposed to look like all that. Interesting. Wow. Okay. Now we end up with, I think you're into, these here should be a gypsy pepper. That is a gypsy pepper coming up there. Kind of looks a little bit like the banana peppers, but he has a little kind of a more evener point, not a banana look. Yeah, kind of interesting. Then we run into one of our little lemon boy tomatoes. And then there's supposed to be another little gypsy pepper in here. He says, I'm being attacked by the tomatoes. But he's come along. Lemon boy tomato. He's coming up there. And then there's another gypsy pepper in here at the end.
Dig it.
And it just lets you know that sometimes when you're doing this, you got to make your little records a little bit of help, because there's just too many different names to remember and who's got what where. So we did make little records of what we had planted there, so you had to bear with us while we do a little bit of reading, but that's kind of interesting in there. And then we'll show you a little bit more of the garden. Now here's something that's kind of amazing about our garden this year. If you get down, we just picked the pickles. And now Joseph, he's down on the other end. He's watering them down good. And he's going to water down some of the corn rows. Hopefully he waters his corn behind him. He don't walk through the mud. We'll see how he does. He should know how to do that. But he's going to try to give those pickles a good bath of water. And then our next picking, we won't have so many oddball big ones and little ones. They'll be more uniform. That was actually our first picking. But the thing that listed again that's been amazing is them 3 rows of sweet corn that's planted between the pumpkins and the tomatoes. How them got that big, that corn got that big in 23 days, or no, it's a month and 3 days, is unreal. And we planted them after Father's Day. They haven't got planted on Father's Day, that corn in where Joseph's at. We put those 3 rows in there, and then we waited 3 days later and planted them. But then I got I got some of them tossing out in there. And that's just highly unusual. And then there again, okay, now we'll show them our little July 4th sweet corn we planted. Quick little clip of that. And he's perking up there. We watered him down good yesterday. Well, you can see after that heat got done, phew.
It's a desert.
But oh, just look at the watermelon patch a coming. Now I had watermelons trying to grow out to get to the squash patch, and the squash ones trying to get out and get the watermelons. But this is our little road we drive through. So I said, you guys come out here, there ain't gonna be no hit and run. You're just growing in the wrong place. But look how the watermelons are just jungling in. That'll be interesting. We'll see how them sit on. Then we got our muskmelons. They're on the upper side. Oh, let's look at that little sweet corn up on that end. I planted some in there where some of the muskmelons didn't come up. And that little corn there, he's really popping along. Oh, here's another one interesting for the jelly makers. We got to show this to the jelly makers quick. Oh, the little choke cherries. These guys, they are getting ready to pick. Oh my goodness. And there you got your nice big handful of choke cherries. Oh, look at how them little guys are just loaded. And now we gotta be picking them. We gotta be canning pickles, gotta be picking beans. Holy shit, it's just all ready at once. Interesting planet. Yeah, when you get her, you really get her. That's a marvelous package, a pile of pumpkins. They just filled themselves in totally on their own. Jungle. Then we'll catch a little bit of the other part of the garden. We're going to about already pick our onions. They're done. But that's interesting. Yep. As you see, we're back here with bean pickers. We got one bean picker took after some more supplies to put the products in. And they're just starting here. Dakota Joe, she is right in here. Is this, how many times have you picked beans? First, second, third, quite a bit?
I don't know. I was going to say this is my first time. I feel like I might have done it as a kid, but I can't rightly remember. So.
Yep. So there's a lot of us. They're kind of they're just getting started. They're doing a little learning. They'll be in the cannon learning that. We'll be showing you that after a bit too. That's kind of cute. And then that particular pepper there, the jalapeno peppers, those are doing really good, but the bell peppers, I don't know what's the matter with them. Mary, you gotta come take a look. These are my bell peppers. And they just ain't, they're blooming, they're staying little. I don't know what's the matter with them. We had a hard windstorm come through here the other day, and hell, two of them, they just broke off. But they're just like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. Just like little babies. But anyway, and these here are yellow, red, green, and there was even some black ones. And I thought by now they'd all have nice peppers on them, but boy, they just been having a battle and half, and then I got strange things going on here. Then I got a carrot row that's way ahead of itself. I don't know why you'd have a carrot. I've never had a carrot row ever bloom like that. Never. I planted some carrots and they bloomed like that. And then the carrot that we planted that's supposed to be blooming, hell, he just grown a carrot bush. So there's strange things that go on in your garden. Then we have a little bit of a tail end thing that we had a little cleanup tomatoes over in there with some of the other sweet corn. And then we're going to show you a quick little clip of what we've been kind of doing between gardening and tilling. And we're going to get on the little trail and go for a quick buzz on the trail because we want to add a little bit of our trail clip to our garden clip. So that'll be interesting. See Betty in the background. grab your phone and want to wrap around it. Some of them come out here in our little road going around it and they get run over. Okay, and I think we're just going to run into a roadblock here. That's pretty interesting. Be kind of interesting here. Okay, now we're going to show you guys a little area on the farm that was planned to have a nice big home built, a big garage, and a root cellar and all that. And we run into a government wreck with this chemical plant that they wanted to put down around Napier and put all this radioactivity shit. You wasn't supposed to live within a 50-mile plume of that. Well, we're 32 miles from it. This project, we hauled it, fought it for 20 years, got rid of the damn dump, and now, well, they never did get the dump built. So now we'll show you a real pretty little yard site that we're going to try to get something done with it, but our old houses, they got to go. We're going to take them out of there. That's one of the neighbors brought that thing over, that camper. There's part of our root cellar, and it's supposed to have a garage built to it. This is the little yard around that house. It's just beautiful down here. And then, my family was younger, we used to come down in here and we'd do a lot of picnicking in the afternoon. This little area right in here is just beautiful. But anyway, I thought I'd share this little spot with you. It's really pretty. We're going to go out and show you our little shot of our little trail again, because we had a guest down from Tennessee, and we got a few little clips of her, and we'll work her in our little clip. And she really enjoyed this trail too. She said, oh my, I get to see it for real and not looking at it me. She thought this was just really something else. The part she liked the best was the little part up here where we have our kind of a first little campsite or little resort site. And then like the little wedding chapel and the eagle's nest. All she really thought that was really pretty. Anyway, so that's pocket coming up here. Okay. Now, being we got this gal from Tennessee, everybody says, well, who in the hell come up here from Tennessee? So I'll tell you a quick story. This used to be my neighbor girl. We've known one another for, I don't know, a long time.
Don't want to tell that
We
one.
won't say that number.
But anyway, it's been a day or two. Well, I finally got her talked into coming back here and coming out and visit and show us some of the little trails that we was building out of that old gravel ruins area that looks so ugly. But we changed the looks of that. It only took 40 years. So see, things do get better with age.
They do get better with age, don't they?
Okay,
Yeah.
so. Oh yeah, she got up here and she thought, oh my, that's just really gorgeous. Here's little Miss Betty. She's filming this Tennessee gal that's in one of the first ATV campers ever built. We'll take her back to the 90s. She's already admiring the wood supply. She says, oh, you got wood in there and all ready to go.
Ready to go, that's right.
Okay, dog.
You're coming in too? Well, yeah, come on in.
And then see what you
2, 3
do
of
for
you.
sleeping quarters. You can take this mattress, and generally that wood thing is gone there.
Put it over here and you got
It
2.
goes over there, and then we've got a couple little, and it sleeps good.
Yep.
Yep. Anyway, so that's our little sleeping quarters. And that's the little camper. Got the little table. Wintertime's got a fridge. The lid pops up, and you keep your little.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. Now the reason it won't come up. See this
I
piece
know,
that's
yeah.
slid in here?
Yes.
He's stopping that.
Well, that's good.
If he's not into a bed mode, then you can use that for wintertime storage.
And if you get too busty, if there's nothing on here,
There's
you
your
pull them
fishing
up.
hole. There's our fishing holes. And you know what got a hell of a slug of clicks? When they see me drop my tins down there to keep the cold from coming up. Oh, geez, how many clicks did I get on that? I think got over 100,000 clicks on that one there. I couldn't believe that dumb
My
stuff.
God.
See, then you got a spot there to fish and a spot here to fish. And 2 spots there. We've used these 2 and that one. That one hardly ever used. Generally that one. And then most of the time, that one there, you get used. That's about
Holy
it.
cow.
And our little gal we're talking about, she was earlier in life, she was a neighbor girl. And then she married a gentleman from Tennessee. And she came back here for her holiday vacation on the 4th of July. And we finally coached her into coming out. The day she came out, it was raining hard, so she didn't get to see much that day. So she didn't come back a couple days later and got to check the little trail off. But we'll have a little clip to her on here that'll pop up that we took. So that's some of our little trail there. This week's going to get all our flags put up here, but they send us all the wrong flags. They sent little flags that would be like for a little baby thing, like little 4x5 flags, and they weren't state flags. We wanted to put up the 50 flags, and then the American flag in the middle, which we got in. Anyway, heading out to the Badlands quick. I'm going to zip through here in a hurry. Here's a little trail that leads down to what's called Island Resort. And if we do happen to get a lot of rain, this is capable of becoming an island, but so far we ain't had enough rain this year to mount anything. Yep, here's our little bridge. Joyce, she got quite a kick out of this. Out of long as this has been here, we would never been able to come down and get one scoopful of snow off this bridge. Every time it gets done, it looks just like this.
Really?
Bare. Not even an ounce of snow. And then see, we used to have a bunch of lights through here, and then they just crisscross through there, and then kind of come back out, and then this had little stringers here and then flashes. It's fancier than hell at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the bridge. And if you get down here, see, when I built that in the shop, we had our shop.
I know, I saw it on your YouTube that you were building it in the shop. And you were putting in these
Yep.
here.
Ann was
when I saw
packing
it.
steel and welding, and I was cutting.
Yep.
I did a little welding, but I had 3 guys welding. Well, there's actually 4 welding on it. And then see, it just set on some old sidewalk junk pads. Nothing expensive.
Yep.
It is designed for that. See these old sidewalk pads here?
Oh, yeah.
They're just tore out in the flop there in the pipe. And then my braces start from there.
Yep.
Underneath. And then these 2 braces here are very important braces. Those are very important. And my little buddy Ray, we no more and got it put into place. You know, the first one was across it. Ray with a telehammer. 18,000 pounds right off the bat.
Oh, my God.
Thought that kind of was something. She kind of liked the Island Resort, I think, the best. She thought this was kind of cute in here. Now we're getting into the area pretty close to the Island Resort. Kind of done. Water runs around one direction, and if it gets high, it can come around this side. But that's extremely rare to see that happen. But here's where she kind of got moved into. We'll drive down in this little valley. way up above the creek. She's probably 8 feet above that. I have never in my life seen 8 foot of water running through here. So I think you're on the safe spot. And then Ann, she's got her little trailer. They moved here first. And we shoved her out by these cottonwood trees. And that's their little spot they got going there. And it's kind of interesting. We got a little family having fun amongst the family and living together as a group, which we enjoy that. We got a few little storage containers. Mary's is back there. They're fairly expensive, but if you had a little shed like that built and all welded up and painted and big double doors put in it, they're actually pretty reasonable, because it costs you a lot more than that to build. But they're pretty much mouse proof, and that's what we like about them in the country. Here we are, heading back to the yard. Now that's our little clip from our little trail. So as they say, gang, we're going to catch you later on the trail. We're going to be working up some pickles and beans next, and maybe some choke cherries tomorrow.